They hadn't realised that the Sheffield Half Marathon involving around 10,000 runners was taking place earlier today, that finished around 1:30, and so therefore the club put in a request that said could the match be moved, much to the dismay of the Chelsea Supporters Trust, who described it as another kick in the teeth to loyal match-going supporters, bearing in mind those loyal Chelsea fans had to travel away to Wolves on Christmas Eve. However, that hasn't deterred them from filling out the entire bottom tier of that Bramall Lane stand away towards our left-hand side. And the sun is shining, which wasn't the case when Phil Jagielka arrived earlier on today.
Nope, I've just about dried off. There's been a few showers today, but hopefully there's plenty of good stuff to watch today and I'm nice and dry.
Did the press steward greet you with the same greeting that he greeted me? He said, "Oh, you've drawn the short straw."
No, he told me I was the lucky one.
Well, let's wait and see. And hopefully, after what has been a very dramatic afternoon of live football, Rangers 3, Celtic 3, Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2, we should have goals here, given the fact that the recent form of these two teams, in particular Chelsea, involved in 31 goals in their last 6 games. And I hasten to add, there hasn't been a draw between these two in the last 16 games at Bramall Lane since 1963, when Tommy Docherty was the Chelsea manager, if ever there was a statistic to put a kiss of death on a commentary. So we're about to get underway. The teams, by the way, very quickly, Sheffield United have made 3 changes from the side that played against Liverpool at the weekend. McBurney for Sousa, Osborne for McAtee, and 3 changes for Chelsea when they played Manchester United on Thursday. Thiago Silva for Badiashile, Madueke for Mudryk, and Chalobah for Gusto, who is being rested. As the players take the knee, no room for racism weekend, discrimination will not be tolerated. I think the applause just drowned out the odd boo there, which is staggering in many ways, and also staggering to think that over 2,500 cases of online abuse targeted at players and others have been investigated by the Premier League, and that is why that message continues and needs to be reiterated. So we are underway. Chelsea in their royal blue shirts and shorts, white socks, playing from left to right as we look. They're attacking the Kop. For those of you who know Bramall Lane, and those loyal Sheffield United supporters are bathed in sunshine against Sheffield United in their red and white striped shirts and black shorts. So Gribic is in goal. Back 3 of Holgate, Ahmed Hodzic and Robinson. The wing-backs Bogle and Trusty, right and left respectively. Arblaster and Osborne in the midfield with Harmer behind Brereton, Diaz and McBurney. As for Chelsea, Petrovic in goal. Back 4 of Chalobah, Disasi, Silva and Cucurella. Caicedo, Fernandes, Gallagher, Palmer, Madueke and Nicholas Jackson. And Chris Wilder was asked in his pre-match notes, will you tap into to McAtee and his knowledge of Cole Palmer? And if he has, McAtee is one of those players who's been dropped from a game at Anfield where you were at, Phil, and you know, for a long period of time they frustrated Liverpool.
Yeah, they had a game plan and they stuck to it, and to be honest, frustrated Liverpool for long periods. Managed to get back in the game at 1-1, but unfortunately there's probably a little bit too long left in the game and it was pretty much one-way traffic. But there'll be something similar today. Chris Wilder has set his team out to probably frustrate and not give Chelsea too many opportunities, and if they can create 1 or 2 good chances like they did midweek and take it, then they've got a chance of getting something out of the game.
Well, Sheffield United with Harmer early ball. McBurney will give chase and just tied it up by Thiago Silva. He has last appearance was actually the 12th of February against Crystal Palace. He's missed the last 8 games, although he was an unused substitute in the last 5. As here is very much the man of the moment, Cole Palmer, for what has been an exceptional season for Chelsea. He's on the ball in the centre circle, passes the ball out to Disasi just over the halfway line. Enzo's forward ball is cut out by Sheffield United and Arblaster, and then the ball is hit downfield by Robinson. Brereton Diaz with his flowing locks will give chase, and Thiago Silva comes across. And I mean, every time you see him play you think he's 39. He never looks 39.
I know how he feels, but to be fair, his composure, his reading of the game's amazing, and that's the reason why he's still playing at the top level at I wouldn't say a dead old age, but older than most out there, but he's doing well.
Ball hit forward, and Ahmed Hodzic holding off the attentions of Nicholas Jackson, and Sheffield United will get a free kick inside their own penalty area. 2.5 minutes played. BBC Radio 5 Live, also on BBC Sounds. And 0-0 in the early stages of this Premier League game, where Sheffield United, bottom of the table, 10 points adrift of Nottingham Forest and safety. So a forlorn task that faces Chris Wilder for the 8 games that remain, including this one, of course. Only 4 teams in Premier League history have had fewer points than Sheffield United at this stage. Sheffield United, the last side back in 21, and then previously Huddersfield Town, Sunderland and Derby County. But for Chelsea, they still have and harbour hopes of European football through qualifying through the table. Cucurella forward, far side the left, pulls it back. Gallagher, left corner of the area. Infield, Palmer waits, tries to slide it through low, blocked. And Sheffield United bring it away. Osborne passed the ball out into space where Brereton Diaz had made the run in the opposite direction. A little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, I think Diaz was trying to take advantage of, obviously, Thiago Silva potentially being the slower out of the 2 centre-halves, but unfortunately Osborne went the wrong way, and obviously the ball's back with Chelsea now.
Here is Enzo Fernandez forward to Palmer. Osborne gets a foot into the challenge. Trusty passes the ball back to Grebic, the Croatian, and had more time than he thought, but he wasn't taking any chances. I don't know whether he's conscious of the mistake that he made on Thursday night for the opening goal against Liverpool, but he put that quickly out of play for a throw.
It was definitely safety first.
Certainly was, wasn't it? 4 minutes played. The Croatian in his light green, all goalkeeping outfit away towards our right hand side. The referee, incidentally, is Rob Jones. 4.5 minutes in. Here is Enzo Fernandez. Certainly soaked up a lot of the pressure at Anfield on Thursday night. As Phil Jagielka says, that'll probably be the game plan once again here today for Chris Wilder's side. As Madueke holds off Trusty. Have to deal with Mo Salah, now Madueke, 2 tricky customers in a matter of days for the American. Chalobah out to that far side for Cucurella. And then Thiago Silva to Disasi. Enzo Fernandez to Madueke. Madueke will go on the outside of Trusty. Inside finds Jackson, lays it off first time. Enzo Fernandez passes the ball to Cucurella, will sell him a little bit short, and Bogle was able to intercept for Sheffield United. Ball held up then by McBurney. Osborne runs across to this near side, passes it back to Trusty. Madueke was quick to close him down. And the assistant referee had a good look at that as Madueke was wrestled to the floor, but said that was no foul. Chelsea are pressing. Sheffield United get it out towards that far side, and then eventually with Ahmed Hodzic plays it forward. Arbasta able to turn, looking for Brereton Diaz, just drifting out towards the left. In fact, it's Disasi, isn't it, who's playing as a right back, and Chalobah as the central defender alongside Thiago Silva. Just a little tweak for Mauricio Pochettino. But 6 minutes in, and Chelsea, as you quite rightly said, seeing a lot of the ball.
Yeah, that's going to be the way the most of the game will pan out. But to be fair, Sheffield United look defensively pretty sound. They've had a couple of opportunities to potentially catch them on the counter-attack, but the final ball's let them down a little bit at the moment.
Ball played out by Petrovic. Here is Thiago Silva. Caicedo back with Thiago Silva. Sheffield United just have everybody behind the ball. Chelsea midway through their own half at this stage. Chalobah to Cucurella, out the pitch on the left, looking for Jackson. Caicedo makes the run off the ball. Caicedo stumbles, he was tripped by Ahmed Hodzic, and that will be a free kick to Chelsea, who are making all of the running in these early exchanges here at Bramall Lane. So Sheffield United, who have been conceding, well, they've conceded 45 goals in 15 home games this season. In Premier League history, only Watford have conceded more, and that was 46 some 4 seasons ago. So Sheffield United, back 2 seasons ago. Looking to rewrite history for the Hornets as Chelsea wait for this free kick. Palmer stands over it, as does Gallagher. But it will be Palmer to take it. Flags up on this near side. Brereton Diaz knocked to the floor. Free kick. How difficult is it then for a team such as Sheffield United in this instance, when you're not going to see a lot of the ball and you're going to have to keep a team with quality individuals that Chelsea have at bay?
I think as long as it stays at 0-0, you're quite happy. I think you sort of take pride in keeping it tight, slowing the game down and potentially getting some out of the game. But I think what was obviously good the other night, obviously against Liverpool, when they went 1-0 down, they managed to stick to what the game plan was and not go 2-0 down, and they had a chance of getting something out of it. So as long as it's 0-0, so there's only 5-10 minutes gone, and so there's no goalkeepers had anything to do at the moment. As long as it's 0-0, you feel like you're doing your job, and it's like a pride thing.
The voice of Phil Jagielka on BBC Radio 5 Live. Palmer forward to Jackson. Jackson with his dyed hair inside to Palmer. Gets it out from his feet quickly. Shuffles the ball to Gallagher, edge of the area. Gallagher right-footed, shoots and off target. And out it goes for a goal kick. So it remains 0-0 to Wembley Stadium. It's the final of the Football League Trophy. Peterborough, Wycombe, Henry Moran.
Early stages of the second half, Peterborough 0, Wycombe 0. Quite a cagey opening 45 minutes. Peterborough probably the stronger of the two sides. Much of the same early in the second half as well. Peterborough 0, Wycombe 0.
Tottenham Nottingham Forest incidentally gets underway at 6 o'clock. Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2 is how it finished. If you've just joined us and missed the commentary from John Murray and Clinton Morrison, there will be reaction at half time. Don't forget the 5 Live Football Daily Pod will bring you all of the reaction from today's games, both in England and Scotland, as Madueke sent away on this near side, the right side of the penalty area, shown on the outside by Trusty, takes that opportunity as well, shoots actually at his near post, and it was spooned away by the goalkeeper and then headed behind. Seemed a little bit surprised that he actually went for goal at that stage. I think whether the keeper was expecting the cutback, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Trusty's going to have a slightly different opponent to obviously midweek. Madueke looks like he wants to get at him, and so far so good for him. He's gone past him twice, and he's going to have to get a little bit closer.
10 minutes played then, 0-0 here at Bramall Lane. Had a fair few April showers in South Yorkshire today as Gallagher waits to take the corner kick. Stuttering run up right hand side, right-footed out-swinging corner, and knocked in by Thiago Silva, who was unmarked and just right-footed, guided the ball into the bottom left-hand corner, and Chelsea are ahead by a goal to 0.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of block was obviously made at the back post, and Silva's come in and casually volleyed it home.
He made it look so easy, didn't he?
Yeah, it's definitely a set piece they've worked on, and to be fair, we were talking about his composure, his reading of the game. He's just come out of the pack, just side-footed it home, and it's sort of went in slow motion to the far corner.
Probably wasn't the cleanest of strikes either, was it, from Thiago Silva, who's just scored his 4th goal of the season, but back in the starting lineup, and Sheffield United sinking feeling as they concede, and Chelsea are ahead through Thiago Silva. And that question that I posed to you just moments ago, all of a sudden you're thinking, they might be thinking, here we go again.
Well, this will be a massive test of character again. I'm sure the legs are quite sore from the other day as well. They did a lot of running, so now it's going to be a test of character to see if they can keep obviously the game plan and try and keep it tight with at the same extent trying to create a few chances to get back in this game.
And for Chelsea, potentially they could be moving to 46 points, bearing in mind that Manchester United are in 6th on 49, West Ham are 7th on 48. 7th could easily mean Champions League, European qualification next season for European football. So it's very much on the cards now for Chelsea, regardless what happens in the FA Cup, where they take on Manchester City in the semi-finals in a fortnight's time. But leading by a goal to 0, and for Sheffield United, that is goal number 46 that they've conceded here at Bramall Lane for what has been a really difficult season for Sheffield United in every aspect. And Chelsea 1-0 up already as Madueke comes in. Gallagher lays it off. Caicedo passes the ball out towards Cucurella. There's a nice fluency about Chelsea. Cucurella has continued that run, headed back by Bogle towards Tagrebic, the Croatian international, who's still yet to keep a clean sheet since he arrived from Atletico Madrid for £2 million on that 3.5-year deal. Never be easy trying to adjust, but particularly when you're conceding goals at the rate that they're conceding at the moment, Sheffield United.
Yes, it's been a less than ideal start to his Sheffield United career, but that's just unfortunate where Sheffield United are at the moment. You know, you spoke about how many goals they've conceded at home. They've conceded plenty of goals away as well, so it's been a baptism of fire for him. But I say, hopefully he can gain from this experience. He's signed for a few years, and hopefully he's going to be the number one for the next couple of years or so.
Yeah, Sheffield United, 81 goals now that they have conceded. The record goals conceded in a 42-game season was Swindon with 100 in 93-94. Derby in a 38-game season in 07-08 with 89. So Sheffield United, you would think, are going to break that unfortunate record this season. As McBurney in the centre circle, out to Bogle, the right wing back, infield. Blaster gives the ball away, the young midfielder, and Chelsea give it back to Sheffield United and Osborne, who turns away from Jackson in the centre circle. Trustees high up the pitch on this near side the left. 14 minutes played. Chelsea already lead by 1-0. Blaster passes the ball clear, and now it's forward to McBurney. Brereton Diaz has switched towards that right hand side, but Chalobah with the interception, dropping to one knee in the process. Cucurella tidies up, and in front of the travelling support, back it goes to Petrovic. And 14 minutes played. Said before, sometimes you wonder which Chelsea are turning up, but they're just starting or showing signs of finding a degree of consistency now with their results.
Yeah, it was funny you said, they're competing for that 7th spot, and the other two teams you mentioned, the Manchester United and West Ham, at certain elements of the season and part of the season, everyone was disappointed with all three, Chelsea, West Ham and Man U, saying they're having disasters and it's the worst season ever. But if they put this little bit of a purple patch on and pick up the points, European football can firmly be there. They've got to one cup final this year, the potential to get to another one. So I know they spent a lot of money, and people have spoke about the team gelling and giving it time. But if they do finish potentially in 7th and get European football, as well as potentially 2 cup finals or one in the semi-final, you've got to look at it as, in the end, as being quite a positive season, considering they've had so many new players.
Very much so. 1 defeat in 10, and that was that League Cup final defeat to Liverpool, as they're leading by 1-0 and coming forward again with Madueke. Leaves it then to Enzo Fernandez. The two of them exchange the ball very, very quickly as if it was a hot potato. Then it's out to Gallagher on this near side, the right. Gallagher and Chelsea comfortable and dictating, and Sheffield United chasing, as almost every outfield player is in the Sheffield United half, with the exception of the goal scorer, Thiago Silva. Madueke. Trustee is poised. Madueke this time won't go on the outside. Passes the ball square. Enzo Fernandez. Now with Chalobah in the centre circle. Forward ball. And then Jackson comes deep. Sheffield United force Chelsea back. Thiago Silva out to Cucurella on the halfway line. Bogle was pressing. They beat Bogle, but Cucurella was a little bit hurried, and as a result of that, it goes out of play for a Sheffield United throw. 16 minutes played, and Chelsea are leading by 1-0. And Thiago Silva, the 39-year-old Brazilian defender, with the goal that gives Chelsea the lead in this opening quarter of an hour or so here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Long throw for Sheffield United. Brereton Diaz kept the ball in play, ultimately lost the ball to Cucurella. Glancing header from Jackson. Robinson now brings it forward for Sheffield United, accelerates over the halfway line, passes the ball forward. Trustee on this near side will win a corner kick for Sheffield United. First real chance for the home side, Phil.
Yeah, they'd like to have got a corner before this, but it's a good opportunity. Just about 17 minutes in, the centre backs will come up, and this has got to be one of their main goal threats today, from set pieces or long throws. So hopefully Hamer puts a nice ball in and someone gets on the end of it.
Well, Brereton Diaz is forward. Ahmed Hodzic, McBurney, Robinson, just in a little cluster about 12 yards out from goal. Harmer with the corner kick. It was an awkward one. Petrovic swung a punch at that. 2 Chelsea players have actually ended up in the back of the net. Gallagher was one of them, and the other is Chalobah. To sure if they were, it was a an awkward one for the keeper to deal with, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's done well, to be honest. He's not trying to catch it, he's punched it, got it away. Got a pretty good protection from his two centre-halves, so good goalkeeping.
McBurney was one of the players arriving late. Petrovic, who has come into the side with that long injury that Sanchez had for a large part of the season. Only kept 4 clean sheets in his 21 appearances since his debut back in December against Everton, as he knocks it short to Chalobah. Chalobah forward ball to Gallagher. Sheffield United pressing. Back it goes to the goalkeeper, all in yellow, away towards our left. Our Blaster, the young midfielder, heads it forward. Palmer wouldn't... Well, a little bit... He's got a blow to the back there as Cole Palmer. He's gone down on his haunches. Certainly in the kidney area, it would seem, on his right side. You can see him wincing from here. And he's in no position in the minute to try and rub it off. He looks like he's been seriously winded, Cole Palmer. As the ball goes back to Grebic, and he puts it out to Trusty on this near side. Heads the ball in field. Beaten in the air was Osborne. Fernandez, Disasi waits for it to settle. Mauricio Pochettino applauds as Chelsea pass it back to Petrovic. And there is a real degree of control that Chelsea have in this game.
Yeah, this will be tough to take for the Sheffield United players. You know, it's almost like deja vu from Thursday. But they've got to stick in the game. They don't want to start giving goals away. They have struggled to score goals, and you don't want to be giving a team like Chelsea a 2-0 head start. So they've got to stick to the game plan. Just camp in there and hopefully create a couple of opportunities. But yeah, Chelsea are looking very, very comfortable at the moment, and it does seem like a bit like attack versus defence.
Well, they've conceded first in the most games in the Premier League this season, now in 23 games for Sheffield United, and they are yet to win. They've drawn 3 and lost 19 of the previous 22, which is a rather ominous statistic for the side who are rooted to the bottom of the table. Trailing 1-0, 20 minutes played, BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. As Disasi ventures forward on this near side, the right, links up with Jackson. Ball runs away from Enzo Fernandez, but toe-ended the ball back to Chalobah. And Chalobah, for what is his 50th Premier League appearance here today, for what has been a frustrating season through injury. It's only his 8th appearance of the campaign. Trevor Chalobah, Disasi switching to right back on this near side. In front of Chris Wilder in his small technical area down below. Alan Nill, his lieutenant, leaning on the dugout as we look down this steep main stand here at Bramall Lane. And now with Disasi, Madueka's made the run, they clip the ball over the top, and Grebic will get there just on the half volley, puts it out of play for a throw.
Yeah, good goalkeeping, good keeper sweeper, that's what you want to see, especially if you want to try and keep a little bit of a high line, keep everyone condensed as your goalkeeper, cleaning things up, and again, no nonsense, safety first.
They are looking for Madueka a number of times, they're on this near side, aren't they?
Yeah, well, he's quick enough to probably get past Trusty, and he fancies chances, and if the keeper had not come out, it'd have been a good opportunity. But as I said, good goalkeeper sweeping, should I say, and the Sheffield backline keeps it nice and tight.
Here is Caicedo, laid off by Madueka. Disasi to Cole Palmer. Palmer got to put into the challenge. Sheffield United potentially now can come forward. Osborne looking for the run of Palmer, tries to get down the side of Thiago Silva, but again, his pass has gone astray. McBurney seized on it, pulls it back. Brereton Diaz with a first time shot, took a deflection, I think, off Caicedo. It was going wide, but Chalobah prevents it from going behind. Thiago Silva with almost a costly mistake, which Sheffield United, that was, we were talking before about just staying in the game. Listen to the crowd's response.
Yeah, exactly. It was a little bit quiet now, obviously it's a bit raucous, but great opportunity. It wasn't the easiest thing, to be fair. Brereton Diaz had 2 or 3 people he had to try and get it past, and you probably put it down to good defending. His mate got him out of the trouble there because he just apologised to the keeper. He knows it was a bit of a sloppy back pass.
Thiago Silva was down towards the corner flag. He played the ball back almost blindly, didn't he, to his keeper. So for all the praise that we've been heaping on the evergreen Brazilian, it was a lapse that could easily have produced an equaliser for Sheffield United. As it is, it remains Sheffield United 0, Chelsea 1, and we're midway through the first half. And here is Cole Palmer. Palmer into the penalty area. Good sliding block challenge coming in from Robinson. He's been very good, hasn't he, of late, Jack Robinson?
Yeah, he has. He's obviously been given the captain's armband. That added a little bit of responsibility as well. But we thought Cole Palmer may have got away from him, but fantastic block from Robinson, and as he said, one of the better defenders from this season.
Chris Wilder has been delighted with his attitude as Robinson, part of that three-man central defence for Sheffield United. I think really materialises from the Chelsea throw. They are awarded another throw over on that far side. Still goalless at Wembley in the Football League trophy between Peterborough United and Wycombe. Rangers 3, Celtic 3 in our first commentary. What a dramatic finish that was at Ibrox. So Celtic 1 point ahead at the top of the table. Rangers, though, do have that game in hand. Tottenham Nottingham Forest getting underway very, very soon at 6 o'clock. Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2 was the result from Old Trafford. So Arsenal remain top, only on goal difference from Liverpool, who are also on 71 points, and Manchester City just a point behind. It is a captivating title race as Madueke on the outside of Trusty. Ball goes out of play. Champions League, of course, returns this week, Tuesday night. Champions League quarter-final, we're in the Bernabeu. Real Madrid against Manchester City. We'll also have news of Arsenal against Bayern. And on Thursday night, we've got Europa League quarter-final coverage to bring you from Anfield. Liverpool against Atalanta. And the US Masters also starts on Thursday. The best possible coverage, not only from the BBC Radio 5 Live team, but also on the BBC Sport website throughout the 4 days at Augusta. Thiago Silva with a back pass to Petrovic, first time clearance, 25 minutes played, 1-0 to Chelsea. Robinson over the halfway line, heads it forward. Caicedo now to Gallagher. Holgate missed it, runs through towards Jackson. Palmer's made a run ahead of him. Jackson has two to his left, Palmer and Cucurella. Here is Palmer in the penalty area, held up by Ahmed Hodzic, and then he's wrestled off the ball by Harmer now up towards Brereton Diaz, tried the first time layoff to McBurney, and Chelsea were able to intercept. Otherwise it would have been potentially an encouraging counter-attack.
They're the moments you've got to make count. Sheffield, fantastic defending. I think it was 2v2, but Brereton Diaz just a little bit too quick to try and get rid of the ball, take another touch and wait for some support. But as I said before, that the tactics that Sheffield United have got are working to a certain extent. They've created a couple of chances, and as long as it's 1-0, they're still in this game. Here
is Palmer. It's the voice of the former Sheffield United and Everton defender Phil Jagielka, who is with us here today at Bramall Lane, as Thiago Silva, the goal scorer, midway through his own half, collects the ball back from Enzo Fernandez, strokes it out towards that far side, actually puts his foot on the ball, no pressure on him at this stage, and then back to Thiago Silva. And Sheffield United seem content for Chelsea to have it in that area of the field. As now with Caicedo, Gallagher back with Caicedo. Chelsea slowly but surely forced backwards. Petrovic, but very, very patient play by Chelsea. And now Disasi hits the ball forward, looking for that one over the top for Madueke. Trusty, the left wing back, heads it forward, and then won't go out of play actually from that ball by Oliver Arblaster, who's a 19-year-old midfielder. Come back into the side after a loan spell early this season in League One for Port Vale. An opportunity for Chris Wilder maybe to look at some of the youngsters with an eye on next season. We were saying in the build-up to the game with Steve Crossman that 12 players are out of contract. There's another 3 who are currently on loan as well, so there's going to be a bit of turnover regardless what division that they're in the summer. You'd think that Chris Wilder will have an eye on durability for those players who can play 46 games for the demands of the Championship, as Jackson threads it through inside left channel, look towards Cucurella, and Bogle is back, and it'll be a Chelsea throw on that far side, and it's still very much a containment job, isn't it, for the home side by and large?
Yeah, we're definitely looking one way. It's one-way traffic at the moment, but as I said, this is going to be the game plan. They knew the way the game was going to go, and at the moment, other than obviously conceding the goal, I don't think Grubic has had too much more to do, but unfortunately they're still 1-0 down.
That goal coming from a set piece after around 10 minutes. So Chelsea 1, Sheffield United 0 here at Bramall Lane. We're approaching the half-hour mark. Disasi in the centre circle finds Palmer. Madueke holds this near side right touchline, runs at Trusty, back inside then to Palmer. Palmer waits just outside the area, goes square. Caicedo looks for the return ball. Palmer tried to head it back. It was fractionally behind Jackson, and Sheffield United clear. McBurney was nudged in the back, and he made the most of that with an acrobatic fall to the floor, and it will be a free kick to Sheffield United. So about to get underway at Tottenham. Mark Scott.
Yeah, just about to kick off here in big game for both sides. Spurs will go above Villa on goal difference with the game still in hand in the fight for fourth place with a victory. Meanwhile, Forest only outside the relegation zone on goal difference at the moment. They're unchanged from the victory over Fulham. Spurs have Sarr in for Bentancur.
We'll also wait to see what happens. I would expect news tomorrow, certainly early next week, but likely to be tomorrow. That was always the deadline that the Premier League had set, the 8th of April, for the next likely points deduction for Everton, who are only 4 points ahead of Nottingham Forest. They themselves on 25 points have appealed their own points deduction, so it's still lacks a lot of clarity down at the back. That was a poor ball that almost let in Cole Palmer from Holgate. Very lax at the back by Sheffield United, but they managed to get away with it. Let's go back to Wembley and Henry Moran.
Into the final 20 minutes of the EFL Trophy final. Peterborough 0, Wycombe 0. Game getting a little bit stretched, and Peterborough pushing, knocking on that door. Peterborough 0, Wycombe 0.
Clearance by Thiago Silva strikes his own player. Brereton Diaz will give chase. The bushy-haired Cucurella on that far side will clear for Chelsea. Kept in play on the Sheffield United right. Harmer down the line. Bogle now delivers the cross, repelled by the head of Chalobah. A blaster though will get there before Palmer. Sheffield United now on the half hour, seeing a little bit more of the ball. This is Osborne, has Trusty in close proximity. Left wing back on this near side in front of the main stand, looking for an equaliser. Robinson, our blaster, Trusty, still not really going anywhere. Sheffield United urged to go on by the crowd. Osborne, by and large, playing in front of Chelsea. You could sense the frustration there from the home support.
Yeah, definitely. They want a goal. They want to get back in this game, but it's good. It's nice for Sheffield United to have a little bit of possession. They're going to try and put Chelsea under a little bit of pressure.
Our blaster to McBurney, out from his feet, gets the right-footed shot away, blocked. Enzo Fernandez heads it. Palmer, nice turn and touch. Looks then to release Jackson. Grebic, good starting point, read that well, good anticipation from the goalkeeper, hooks it away downfield. Trusty has to wait for this bouncing ball to settle, now looks to deliver the cross, does so from the left hand side. Thiago Silva with a header away. Disasi's head is going to fall towards Harmer. Harmer comes forward, less than 30 yards out from goal. Harmer with a shot, Petrovic makes the save, low down to his left, much better from Sheffield United.
Yeah, it's exactly what they needed to get the fans involved. Yeah, they put a little bit of Chelsea under a little bit of pressure for the last 5 minutes and created a couple of half chances. Nice shot from about 20 yards from Harmer, but the keeper saved it well.
If they are to go down, they want to go down with a fight, don't they? They don't want to be a tame surrender.
That's what these fans will want, you know. This place can be really loud. It's been a tough season probably to watch just as it has been to play in, but these fans will expect their players to put up a good fight, and at the moment, obviously, as I said before, other than conceding, it's not been the worst sort of half for the Sheffield United players.
Certainly this is probably the best spell in the first half. 31 minutes played, still trailing by a goal to nil. Our blaster, quite slight in midfield as a little individual. As McBurney able to turn from that forward ball. McBurney using his physical presence back towards Harmer. Harmer threads it through. Bogle's made a good run. And Bogle hammers the ball in past the goalkeeper inside his near post. And Sheffield United's best spell of the first half yields an equaliser. Sheffield United 1, Chelsea 1. Didn't he take it well?
To be honest, I thought he'd made the wrong decision. There was someone, I think it was Brereton Diaz, like about 3 yards out for a tap in, but instead, I don't know if he's done a goalkeeper with the eyes and put in the top corner. Great finish, but if he'd not scored, I'm sure he'd have been getting a telling off.
Well, Brereton Diaz was actually in an offside position, so had he cut it back, it would have probably been ruled out for offside, but as it was, Bogle absolutely rifled it. And the keeper will be disappointed to be beaten inside his near post. It might have actually just brushed his left knee on its way through from Bogle to divert it into the net. But Sheffield United are level, and Chris Wilder will be absolutely delighted with the response of his players.
Yeah, we spoke about the game plan and how easy and hard it is to keep doing it, especially when you go 1-0 down. But exactly what happened midweek, they've kept at it. They've not given Chelsea too many opportunities and created a couple themselves. And and Bogle with a fantastic finish.
It was a good run as well, wasn't it, as the right wing back round the side.
As you said, the play from Sheffield United over the course of the last 5 minutes or so has been good, and it was a fantastic ball from Hamer. I think he nutmegs a Chelsea player to put Bogle in, and great goal all round.
Certainly was. Sheffield United then are level, and for Chelsea there is no clean sheet now in their last 12 away games in the Premier League, which is matches the worst run since Frank Lampard in December 2019 to September 2020, and that will be a particular concern for Maurizio Pochettino. And after listening to Vicky Sparks and Pat Nevin, and 6 goals at Ibrox earlier, and then 4 with John and Clinton at Old Trafford, we've now got 2 here to add to that tally for what has been a very busy afternoon of live football on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. We did predict goals actually between the two, and didn't we, when we looked at the recent record of these two sides, two teams who basically can't defend.
Well, yeah, but you said it, and I thought it was going to be the kiss of death should I say, but nice. It's been an entertaining game so far, 2 different types of game plans, but both working just as effectively.
One thing you'll realise, Phil, if we're to continue working together, that the commentator's curse will strike again at some point, even if it wasn't today. 10 minutes to go to half-time. 1-1 though, and Thiago Silva, who gave Chelsea the lead, and Bogle with the equaliser for what is just his 2nd goal of the season. He scored earlier here back in August actually against Manchester City when they were attacking the Kop end on that particular day. Here is Enzo Fernandez for Chelsea, outside of the right boot, carves it in field. Cucurella lays it off. Chalobah was a little flat-footed, might have actually just got an injury in the process as he knocks it back towards Thiago Silva. He's hobbling a little bit, he's feeling his left knee. Forward ball midfield to Madueke, and eventually it was Ahmed Hodzic, whether he's got his studs onto it as it reaches the goalkeeper Gribic.
I think it was good defending in the end, but we'll have a look at it again. A lovely ball through, and I think he just gets a little touch into the keeper.
Just did enough to stab it back, didn't he?
It was nearly a penalty, but good defending in the end.
I think Madueke was looking towards referee Rob Jones for half a penalty appeal. Under 10 minutes to go to half-time. Chalobah seems to be running a little bit more freely now. Certainly sprang into action there as he left-footed cleared the ball out of play into the far side, out for a Sheffield United throw. Well, you said it would be a test of character after they conceded that goal after 10 minutes to Thiago Silva, and the way that they've responded in a positive manner and still looking to try and take the game to Chelsea as Gallagher clears it away. Jackson with a layoff, battling for every ball, trying to make it as much of a contest as they possibly can in the midfield. Here though is Enzo Fernandez, who's got a bit of space to run into. Madueke, Trusty goes to close him down. Madueke then will roll the ball forward with his left boot, teasing Trusty as he runs forward now, level with the area. Back inside to Enzo Fernandez. Caicedo is short. Fernandez to Chalobah. Once saw him score from a similar distance to where he received the ball there at Stamford Bridge against Crystal Palace a number of years ago. He's more than capable of shooting from long distance. Here is Gallagher, ball forward by Caicedo. Hesitation at the back, and certainly Holgate berating his goalkeeper for not coming quickly to claim that. That's your expertise, the defending. What do you make of that?
These are awful when there's not enough pace on the ball to go straight to the keeper, but just a little bit too far away from the defender. So as a defender, I'm begging my goalkeeper to come and help me out here. But to be honest, he probably did the right thing. Stayed at home, let his defenders sort it out, and in the end, no harm, no foul, and Gribic caught the ball.
The ball there is held up for Jackson. Were you one to berate a goalkeeper in your playing days?
We had many, shall we say, heated discussions, but to be honest, that's the best thing. I always got on well with my goalkeepers because it's always going to be fiery, so you're going to shout and abuse each other, but then probably give each other a kiss and a cuddle about 5 minutes later. So it's always the way between the defenders and the centre half, the goalkeeper.
That's how we operate on 5 Live. Happy to shout at half-time, then we'll end up with a kiss and a cuddle before we're finished.
As long as everyone's happy.
7.5 minutes to go to half-time. Here is Jackson, forward ball to Palmer. One person I'm still yet to give a kiss and a cuddle to is Michael Brown. Forward ball for Harmer.
Don't think anyone ever has, have they?
Free kick to Sheffield United. 1-1 it remains. Phil Jagielka is with us here at Bramall Lane. We'll get some reaction from Old Trafford at half-time as well, after Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2. Luis Diaz gave Liverpool the lead. Manchester United then were 2-1 up. Mainu, fine goal from the England international, but a Salah penalty rescued a precious point for Liverpool. So, free kick here for Sheffield United. They're playing from right to left as we look. And it's a little bit further forward, right side of the centre circle. Quite a high line from Chelsea, hit by our blaster, looking for McBurney. Downward header by McBurney, rides up the chest of Chalobah, and then cleared away to Harmer, who's then stopped by Madueke on this near side. Madueke will run the ball away, looks for Jackson over the halfway line. He finds him. That was a lovely turn away from Holgate, sharp turn, and now he passes the ball to Cucurella. Jackson's continued his run, and it came into him in the penalty area and maybe fractionally behind him, and it goes all the way out for a goal kick. We'll get the thoughts from Phil in a moment after we've heard from the early exchanges of Tottenham, Nottingham Forest and Mark Scott.
11 minutes gone in, still Spurs 0, Forest 0. Spurs dominating possession, but had a massive scare just now. Murillo, the Forest defender, just outside his own penalty area, leathered it with Vicario off his line. It went over the keeper and only just wide. Tottenham 0, Forest 0.
Just over 10 minutes played there, and around 10 minutes remaining at Wembley. Henry Moran.
Still no closer to a winner of the EFL Trophy final. Peterborough against Wickham. Wickham arguably creating the better chances in the last few minutes, but the game getting stretched on this big Wembley pitch. Peterborough 0, Wickham 0.
1-1 here in this 5:30 kickoff at Bramall Lane. I said before we went to Mark, your thoughts on that Chelsea attack. It was excellent play by Jackson, wasn't it?
Yeah, just fantastic hold-up play, great turn, fed Cucurella, and I just don't think he expected Cucurella to be able to find him with a cross, and went for a couple of legs, and it nearly found its way through to him to tap home, but unfortunately I think it nutmegged him in the end as well.
Chalobah diving in has just caught Osborne, and a yellow card has been shown there from Rob Jones to Chalobah, so he has been booked. It's the first yellow card of the afternoon to the Chelsea defender in his 50th appearance in the Premier League from Rob Jones, and the free kick is just a few yards forward of the centre circle. Quite a narrow back line that for Chelsea. Not much width as everybody gathers in the central area just outside the D. Sheffield United, red and white striped shirts, black shorts, playing from right to left as we look. Oliver Arblaster, the 19-year-old midfielder, is going to take it. It's right-footed, quite a flat ball in. Robinson gets his head onto it, actually. And in the end, it was Petrovic who made the save at around head height. Quite comfortable for the keeper.
Yeah, but that's two free kicks in succession where they've just clipped the ball to the back post and been pretty easy for the Sheffield United players to head it back across goal. So I'm sure that's something that Chelsea will have to look at for half-time. Otherwise, Sheffield are going to be very dangerous if they get any more set pieces.
Here is Madueke. Osborne into the challenge. Ball actually hasn't gone out of play. Osborne's kept it in play. Madueke recovers. Osborne with a cross and turned behind by Thiago Silva. Sheffield United, to their credit, are taking the game to Chelsea.
That's exactly what they needed to do. Get the fans involved, give them something to shout about. The last 10 or 15 minutes been a great play from Sheffield United.
The last three games, Chris Wilder was saying he's been happy with the consistency of the performance from his team, and certainly they're finishing this half very, very strongly after Chelsea had taken the lead. 3 minutes remaining of normal time in this first half, and attacking the Bramall Lane end of the ground, that two-tiered stand where the away supporters are housed in the bottom tier. Sheffield United have a corner from Harmer, deep towards the far post, headed on by McBurney, tried to hook goalwards, hasn't. The referee's blown his whistle. Brereton Diaz was about to shoot goalwards where Rob Jones has spotted an infringement, and that will be a free kick to Chelsea as we approach half-time here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Not too sure what the referee had spotted. Maybe a dangerous boot, was it? High boot from Ahmed Hodzic?
It looks that way, but it was nowhere near anyone, but it was given, so a little bit of a let-off from Chelsea, but defensively set pieces, they're not doing too well at the moment. I don't think they've got first contact too many times, and positive again from Sheffield United.
It was certainly a genuine attempt to get the ball as well from Ahmed Hodzic, the defender, the Bosnian international, who played against Chelsea in his Malmo days in the Champions League about 3 years ago. Here is Palmer. Behind it goes to Jackson. Deadlock has been broken at Wembley Stadium. Henry Moran.
And for all of Peterborough's dominance, they now do have the lead with 5 minutes remaining of the 90. Free scoring left back Harrison Burrows driving low into the corner. Peterborough 1, Wycombe 0.
Tottenham 0, Nottingham Forest 0 in the early stages in the Premier League. Earlier Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2, Rangers 3, Celtic 3. Match of the day 2 tonight, 10:30. Mark Chapman joined by Danny Murphy and Troy Deeney. Let's go back to Mark Scott at Tottenham.
There's been a goal. Spurs have the lead. They've had most of the play. Timo Werner, the architect of it, wide on the left-hand side. Really good ball in to the edge of the 6-yard box. Murillo tried to clear, put it beyond Sells into his own net. At first glance, it looked close for offside. I think VAR might be interested, but at the moment, it's Spurs 1, Forest 0.
Thank you, Mark. A win would take Tottenham fourth, and they would still have a game in hand on Aston Villa as well. And Nottingham Forest remain just outside the relegation zone on 25 points, level with Luton Town. Sheffield United, of course, are 10 points further back before today's game, currently drawing 1-1 here with Chelsea. We're about to find out how much stoppage time there will be, as I noticed that the fourth official reaches for his electronic board down below, and it's with Disasi, now with Thiago Silva at a walking pace. We're going to have 2 minutes of added on time, I'm told, so very soon that fourth official will put the 4 minutes up. That goal stands, incidentally, after the VAR check, so Tottenham are leading Nottingham Forest by a goal to nil. So we're about to approach stoppage time, and they've made it as much of a contest as they can, Sheffield United.
Yeah, they started off quite quiet, obviously not wanting to give too much away, but I think as soon as the goal's gone in, it's up the tempo for Sheffield United, and they've put Chelsea under some pressure, so they're more than level for the game. Obviously they deserve to be 1-1 at the moment. Chelsea will be a little bit disappointed. It'll be interesting to see what Pochettino does at half time.
There is confirmation that Darren England, the fourth official, raising up the board with a bright green digit of the number 2, as here is now the number 20 for Chelsea, Cole Palmer. Palmer over the halfway line, waits, forward ball, Enzo Fernandez, sharp turn, looks for the run of Jackson towards the right corner of the area, holds it up, manages to lay it back. The referee's played the advantage. Gallagher looking for the run forward, and it runs through towards Grivich. The referee now is explaining to Nicholas Jackson that I saw it, tried to let the game flow. That's what you want from a referee, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's nice that you can go and explain it, because people do get frustrated. I know that myself, so good decision from the ref, and if the pass was a little bit better, Chelsea could have had a good opportunity.
Phil Jagielka, the former England international, with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live. We're in stoppage time. Don't go anywhere during the break. We'll have all the reaction from that 2-2 draw at Old Trafford between Manchester United and Liverpool here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, as Chelsea have a throw over on that far side, the left. Cucurella, who was back in the Spanish side after an absence of 3 years recently to gain his second cap in that game against Brazil. Ball forward by Jackson, took a bit of a deflection on its way through. Trusty was a little awkward in dealing with it, and eventually managed to deal with the pressure of Madueke, helped out by Robinson, whose first attempt to clear was blocked, but Sheffield United will eventually clear their lines. There's been another goal at Wembley Stadium, Henry Moran.
And what a goal. Nottingham Forest loanee Dale Taylor had been on the pitch for 20 seconds. A left-footed volley from distance into the bottom corner makes it Peterborough 1, Wycombe 1.
So Wycombe have got themselves a late equaliser, late drama at Wembley Stadium in that Football League trophy. As 1-1 here, and the referee will be soon blowing his whistle, and indeed there it is, 2 minutes of added on time. What do you make of that first half, Phil Jagielka?
I think you can tell by the fans they're quite happy with the performance from Sheffield United. Chelsea started off pretty well, but to be honest, they've been put on the back foot in the last 20 minutes or so there'll be 2 interesting team talks, and we'll see what sort of 2 teams we get second half.
Well, certainly Sheffield United responding well after Chelsea had taken the lead through Thiago Silva, unmarked from a corner after 11 minutes, but Jayden Bogle with the equaliser just past the half hour. Half time then at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 1, Chelsea 1.
Thank you both. We'll be back for second half commentary at Bramall Lane. Let's go straight to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They're at home to Forest in the Premier League this evening. Mark Scott.
20 minutes played here, Steve. Spurs leading by that own goal from Murillo to 0. They've been the better side. They've had more of the ball. The goal came when Werner got away on the left-hand side. He cut in well, fizzed the ball towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and Murillo slid it into his own net. Decent response from Forest. Hudson-Odoi on the counter, shot straight at Vicario. So Spurs 1, Forest 0, 20 minutes gone.
And we're still live from Old Trafford. We will bring you reaction from Jurgen Klopp. We'll hear from Kobbie Mainoo, and we'll speak against correspondent John Murray as we reflect on what we've just seen. Great game, Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2. We'll do it after the news with Joe Hornby.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The White House has described the partial withdrawal of Israeli forces from southern Gaza as a rest and refit, rather than an indication of a new military operation. Israel's military says it has reduced the number of troops on the ground, but insists that the war is not over. A new round of ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas is due to begin today in Cairo. Israel's defence minister says his country is ready to deal with any confrontation with Iran after Tehran threatened to respond to a suspected Israeli attack. A senior advisor to Iran's supreme leader warned that no Israeli embassy was safe after last week's strike against an Iranian diplomatic compound in Syria. Police have launched a manhunt after a mother pushing her baby in a pram was fatally stabbed in Bradford city centre. Habiba Massam, who is 25, is wanted over the attack yesterday afternoon. And a British man has become the first person to run the entire length of Africa. Russell Cook crossed the finish line in Tunisia this afternoon after setting off from South Africa almost a year ago. Along the way, he had to overcome health scares, visa problems and an armed robbery.
My name is Makita Oliver.
And I'm Lily Allen.
In our new podcast, we talk about the big issues and the little ones and everything in between in the way that only best friends do.
With brutal honesty.
We'll be talking about things like early crushes, techno and ambition.
I thought we were meant to be. I really thought that it was going to happen. I've had a few celebrity crushes and for the most part, they've come true.
Miss Me with Lily Allen and Makita Oliver. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
And we've had another late goal at Wembley Stadium. Who's on course to win the EFL trophy? Henry Moran?
It is Peterborough, and it is that left-back Harrison Burrows again. Extraordinary goal. His cross from way out on by the byline somehow drifted over the head of the goalkeeper, Franco Ravazzoli, in the Wickham goal. Think David Seaman against Ronaldinho, that sort of thing. And 5 minutes left of this game, it was 0-0. We've had 3 goals in the last 5 minutes. Peterborough, then Wickham, Peterborough again. Deep in added time, Peterborough lead 2-1.
So we've had a falling leaf reminding us of 2002 here at Old Trafford. We had a Kobbie Mainoo goal which reminded us of Federico Makeda's wonder strike many years ago. We're going to hear from him shortly. But first, after this dramatic 2-2 draw between Manchester United and Liverpool, the Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp with Gary Flintoff.
Well, Jurgen, once again, eventful. I think it's safe to say. So many chances created. What is the overall emotion come the full-time whistle?
Mixed. Very mixed. So obviously happy with a lot of things in the game and not so happy with some things. That's how it is. Being 1-0 up at half-time and 15-0 shots is a crazy stat. It's a crazy stat. I that just shows you play a really good game. Yes, you would wish with 15-0, you would wish maybe 2-0 or whatever, but that makes not massive difference. The massive difference, you have to play the next 50 minutes anyway. So that's what we did, and we did really well. And then we make this one mistake, and that's we work with humans. These kind of things happen. You first have to use it, like Bruno did, and it was really a worldie, I would say. but then we calmed the game down again, and then we deserved the point and should have won still and stuff like this, but we didn't, and that's now fine. Come on, you cannot. It's not. We don't live in dreamland. We know that.
And in terms of the title race, what does a point here at Old Trafford today mean overall?
Game on. And we are in the middle of it, so that's how it is. So I know. We had that years ago. We said if it's too nervous for you, go and travel somewhere where you have no television, no radio, no internet, nothing, and then come back in 6-7 weeks. And but being in it is actually the best position ever. So again, it is for the others difficult as well. So, and they have to play important games, we have to play important games, and United against Liverpool is a special game. So like we play against Everton, they don't play against each team like they play against us, so that's ours. But for that, Arsenal, Tottenham is whatever, and these kind of things. So that's all clear. I would have loved to win today, but I take the point and we keep going.
That's Jurgen Klopp. So the goals, Luis Diaz for Liverpool opened the scoring, Bruno Fernandes equaliser, then Kobbie Mainoo made it 2-1 before Salah's late penalty earned a point. But let's hear from Mainoo. Brilliant goal that he scored, and he says after everything a draw is actually quite tough to take.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a good game to watch, but left us disappointed, to be honest. I feel like we worked hard to get ourselves back in the game after a tough first half and to get ahead, obviously, but we've given it away, and ultimately we want the 3 points in such a fixture, and it's such a big game to us coming towards the end of the season, so I feel like not to come away with 3 points in that game is definitely going to be tough to take.
Is it a concern that it keeps on happening? It's 3 games in a row that points have been lost so close to the finish.
Yeah, I mean, it's been difficult. 3 similar situations with again, penalties have cost us, but you know, we have to just keep on working to iron out these details that are costing us and keep pushing to get better, and I feel we are.
Tell us about your goal. First one at Old Trafford. It was something special. You didn't even look up. You seem to know exactly where the posts were.
Yeah, I mean, when Aaron gave me the ball, I just felt like the keeper wouldn't think I would shoot, so I let it off, and it felt good, and luckily it went in.
And about their first goal, looking at the marking from corners, what was the idea there, and how did it not work?
With that one, we were supposed to. Obviously, I was supposed to be double teaming Van Dijk with Rasmussen, leaving Diaz, but honestly, we should clear it, and I feel like it's just miscommunications and little details of our lines that have cost us. Yeah.
Kobbie Mainoo there with Match of the Day's Guy Mowbray. Correspondent John Murray is next to me here at Old Trafford. Why don't we start with Kobbie Mainoo? You spoke to him, didn't you, on England duty?
Yeah.
Speaks really well.
Oh, he does. Yeah, no, he's an old head on young shoulders, and I think having spoken to him this season, having spoken to Rico Lewis as well, you know, I think they are very, very much the modern footballer of the 2020s. These are young guys, these are teenagers, but they're living in the world in which they live, and they're very comfortable. You know, they've got the talent obviously on the football field, but equally they are very capable of expressing themselves off the field as well, and that's what we hear.
We've had another goal at Tottenham, Mark Scott.
And Nottingham Forest are level via Chris Wood. Really good stuff on the right-hand side from Forest. A combination between Elanga and Williams. Elanga's cut back into the path of Wood, who swept it home first time from 6 yards out. Spurs won, Forest won just before the half hour.
I thought Jurgen Klopp was quite measured there in the crazy circumstances with Gary Flintoff. You nipped down into his press conference as well.
Yeah, I've just been in the press conference, so the last press conference that Jurgen Klopp will have as the Liverpool manager inside Old Trafford, and also very, very even-tempered, same as, you know, very much treating it like the cup match 3 weeks ago. And he actually said, we've dominated these 2 games. He said we've dominated them as much as any of the matches that his Liverpool have had here. Yet he says these 2 matches they've not been able to win either of them. But he said it matters who's top after 38 matches. When he was asked about the fact that Arsenal are still top of the table, he says, I know it's going to be super tricky until the end. And you know, about the chances they missed today, you know, classic football management, top football management, any football management really. He said, look, he said the boys who missed the chances today are the boys who've won us 71 points this season. And I thought as well, in Gary's interview, there was that little line about Everton, how Everton always raise their game. So Liverpool have got to go to Goodison Park. He was also asked whether he will cheer Arsenal, whether he'll cheer Manchester United when Arsenal come here. And he said, probably. But he said, if Arsenal play their game, they'll win. So there's a little message dropped in there as well.
Thank you, John. Correspondent John Murray with us here, still inside Old Trafford as the rain continues to fall. Have we had the full-time whistle in the EFL Trophy final, Henry?
Yeah, 10 years on from their previous EFL Trophy win, Peterborough have their hands on it again after a crazy 10 minutes to finish the game. They thought they'd won it through Harrison Burrows' low drive, but Wycombe sub Dale Taylor volleyed in from distance with his first touch. It looked like extra time was certain, but Burrows again found the net, his cross drifting in over the head of the Wycombe goalkeeper. Darren Ferguson, with Dad Sir Alex here watching, lifts the trophy as he did a decade ago. Peterborough win the EFL Trophy. They've beaten Wycombe by 2-1.
You can get your calls in now, by the way, for 606. The lines are open, so 08085 909 693. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton will be with you once we've had second half commentary from Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 1, Chelsea 1. Second half is up shortly. Afternoon, Robbie Savage, how are you?
Afternoon, what a day of football, what entertainment. 3-3 in the Old Firm, what a game that was, and then obviously the 2-2 at Old Trafford. What a day of football.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I was just thinking actually, but before we spoke to you, because presumably you will have seen a fair amount of Kobbie Mainoo before we did, because obviously he was coming through at the same time as your lad here at Man United.
Yeah, I've watched him all the way through. He can play as a 6, an 8 or a 10. I think his goal, I think his first one at Old Trafford shows he can play high up the park. Listen to John there, confident young man, a humble young man, and a real talent. He's got an unbelievable future. Listen, he's a possible future Manchester United captain, isn't he? And what he's achieved in such a short space of time. I also think Willie Kwambala was fantastic today at the back. Seeing a lot of him as well. What a performance from him. So the youngsters at Old Trafford doing really well again. But going back, Chris was at the Old Firm, wasn't he, to see Rangers draw with Celtic.
Did you see his record survived by about 2 seconds?
Yeah, I seen that, 21 seconds, wasn't it? But there was much debate on the penalty. Silva going down, he was awarded a yellow card on the pitch, but VAR got involved and gave a penalty. Listen, I'm sure there's much discussion, debate. Was it a penalty? I think it was. Chris doesn't. Will Fabio Silva feature in the simulation game? I don't know, but what a game that was. So 2 fantastic games. Obviously we got Forest just equalising, Chelsea at Sheffield United, and also Peterborough. I've just seen the goal with the wind. There was an assist for Ward-Prowse with the wind yesterday, wasn't there? And another assist today for the wind.
Kathleen with the assist, Robbie. That's what
right,
it is.
That's right. Storm Kathleen. Peterborough fans, give us a call. Rangers, Celtic fans, Manchester United. They've been so open. They're miles off winning the Premier League. Miles. So 28 shots faced today. They've drawn 2-2. Great character, but they are miles off it, Steve.
08085 909 693. Cheers, Robbie.
Cheers, mate.
Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton with 606 once we're done at Bramall Lane. Quick reminder, next weekend commentary of all 3 of the Premier League title contenders. Saturday at 3, Manchester City, Luton. Sunday at 2, Liverpool Palace. Sunday 4:30, Arsenal versus Aston Villa. It's the final night of racing at the British Swimming Championships. Gets underway in under half an hour's time. Commentary on Sports Extra. Steve Parry, as always, a big part of our team. Steve, there is one race nobody should miss.
That's right, Steve. Great Britain boasts some of the best 200 metres freestyle of all time. And just get this, we've got the Olympic champion Tom Dean. He's qualified fastest, but he's flanked by world champion Matt Richards. They've got the Olympic silver medalist in there, Duncan Scott, and world champion from 2015, James Guy. One thing's for sure, that race is definitely going to come down to the touch. We've got another Olympic medalist in the water as well, Luke Greenbank, going in 200 metres backstroke. He's not going to have it all his own way. He's against Oliver Morgan. And then the women's blue ribbon event, the 100 metres freestyle with Freya Anderson and Anna Hopkin. And as you say, we're on from 7 p.m, bringing you those mouth-watering races on 5 Live Sports Extra.
Top man, Steve. Thank you very much. Steve Parry there. Elsewhere, Northampton will face Bulls in the Champions Cup quarter-finals after beating Munster at Franklin's Gardens. Claremont await Ulster in the last 8 of the Challenge Cup after their win away at Montpellier. Max Verstappen cruised to victory in the Japanese Grand Prix. Sergio Perez second, Carlos Sainz third. We're ready for second half commentary from Bramall Lane in the Premier League. Sheffield United 1, Chelsea 1. Phil Jagielka's with Ian Dennis.
Thanks, Steve. No changes at half-time from either side, so a run-through of the two teams. Grebic in goal for Sheffield United. Back 3 of Holgate, Ahmed Hodzic and Robinson. as Annie's song is being sung by the Sheffield United supporters. Bogle and Trusty are the wing backs, right and left respectively. Arblaster and Osborne in the midfield, with Harmer behind McBurney and Brereton Diaz. Sheffield United, red and white shirts, black shorts, black socks, as they get the second half underway, playing from left to right as we look, attacking the Kop end here at Bramall Lane, and they went direct into the penalty area, struck the heels of Cucurella, and Chelsea were able to bring the ball out of defence, where they play in front of Petrovic, all in yellow, away towards our right hand side, and a back four of Disasi, Thiago Silva, Chalobah and Cucurella, Caicedo, Fernandes and Gallagher in the midfield, Madueke, Palmer and Nicholas Jackson. Thiago Silva gave Chelsea an 11th minute lead, and Sheffield United equalised 13 minutes before half-time as McBurney delivers an early cross in from the left-hand side. I would imagine, Phil Jagielka, that Chris Wilder would have said to his players, just continue where you left off in that first half.
Yeah, I don't think he would have wanted half-time to come, to be honest. It was the best part of football that Sheffield United have played so far, and they've started off the second half kicking towards the Kop. Attacking now.
Arblaster with the turn, feeds it forward to Brereton Diaz, and he tried to get the shot away on the run. It was a weak effort, right-footed, from Brereton Diaz, who scored 4 goals and had the 1 assist in his 6 Premier League games so far, as he arrived on loan from Villarreal, but at least he wins a corner kick for the home team. Good start.
Yep, trying to sneak it through Thiago Silva's legs, I think, quickly, try and keep the keeper off guard. But a corner is exactly what Chris Wilder would have wanted his team to come out for the second half, put this Chelsea team under some pressure.
There's Sheffield United, corner kick, near side, the right. A lot of the supporters are still filing their way in the front end of that Kop end, as the cross is a very deep one, and the keeper under pressure eventually gathers at the second attempt as he was falling backwards. Brereton Diaz still runs towards him. McBurney hovers as well as the overarm throw out to Cucurella. So early in the second half here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Gallagher, back it goes to Chalobah. Thiago Silva just outside the D. Nice gentle walking pace. Probably the same pace as some of the straddlers from the Sheffield half marathon who would eventually cross the line after taking part that in the conditions earlier on were certainly not as pleasant as they are now, where it's dry after the wet conditions earlier on in South Yorkshire. But congratulations to everybody who took part in that early today. Around 10,000 runners, and I'm sure most of them were doing it for a lot of good work for charity, for good causes. So Sheffield United with Enzo Fernandez try and passes the ball out towards that far side, and Madueke held up by Trusty. Out of it, play it goes for a throw. Back to Tottenham, Mark Scott.
Nottingham Forest should be in front, and Chris Wood should have his second goal of the game. Ola Aina adventuring away on the left-hand side, cut it back to Yates on the edge of the box. His low hit, well saved by Vicario, but from just a couple of yards out on the rebound, Wood smashed it goalwards, but onto the post. It was a sitter. It remains Spurs 1, Forest 1.
Chalobah clears for Chelsea under pressure, met by the head of Ahmed Hodzic, and it was certainly a firm header forward. Nice layoff by Brereton Diaz. The return ball, Bogle takes it on pace as he touched it past Chalobah, but it just went away from him. But certainly the crowd are responding to what they're seeing from the home team.
Yeah, you can see the confidence growing in the Sheffield United players now. I wouldn't say Chelsea here for the taking, but they know they can get at them.
Palmer, his forward ball cut out by Ahmed Hodzic, the Bosnian international. Brereton Diaz likes to drift out towards that left, holds it up. Harmer makes the run behind him, slows it down, infield to Arblaster. Forward ball now to Brereton Diaz, has a couple of glances into the penalty area, delivers the cross now. McBurney with the header, wide, about a foot wide of the right-hand post. He's appealing for a corner kick. He's not going to get it from referee Rob Jones.
Yeah, great opportunity, lovely ball from Oliver Arblaster down the line. And Brereton Diaz just takes his time, puts a cross in, and it was a bit of a wrestle between the two, and he's just about headed it wide.
So the full-time scores earlier. Peterborough United beat Wycombe 2-1 in the Football League Trophy, with all 3 goals coming in the last 5-6 minutes of that dramatic finish at Wembley Stadium. Rangers 3, Celtic 3 earlier at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2. So Arsenal remain as the leaders of the Premier League, but just a point separates Arsenal, Liverpool and Manchester City. And next weekend we will have commentaries Manchester City against Luton and Liverpool as well at home to Crystal Palace, but they'll both feature in midweek. Tuesday night, the Bernabeu Champions League quarter-final action live from Madrid. Real Madrid against Manchester City. News of Arsenal against Bayern, and then Liverpool at Anfield on Thursday night. Commentary of that Europa League quarter-final tie against Atalanta. As a steward collected the ball off his white stool in front of the Chelsea support, and much to his embarrassment, he then slipped. If Mark Chapman on Match of the Day 2 tonight is doing too good, too bad, we all know where that's going to feature.
Not what you need in front of the away fans.
No. His red face will match his bright, luminous jacket as he now sits back down. And a good little turn like that and a little slip caused much hilarity to all. 1-1. In fact, there was a funny moment in the press room earlier on today where a pigeon flew through the press room. How it got there I'll never know. Forward ball from Jackson to Palmer. Grebic is out, puts the ball out of play for a throw. And Will Perry, who you'll often hear on BBC Radio 5 Live, well, his new nickname is Clunk. He caught the pigeon. Here is Chelsea with Enzo Fernandez. Handled it with great care and attention as well, didn't he, Will?
Well, they got it out, so well played.
Brereton Diaz for Sheffield United. 6-7 minutes into the second half. 5 Live here at Bramall Lane. Bogle, forward ball. Arblaster takes it in his stride, running forward. Brereton Diaz on the right hand side and marks edge of the area. Brereton Diaz held up by 2 Chelsea players. Chalobah should get it clear as Brereton Diaz slides into the challenge and catches the back of Chalobah. It was a little clumsy and it might well result in the first yellow card for a Sheffield United player, and indeed one is issued by the referee Rob Jones.
Disappointing, bad decision to come back in. He could have slipped. I think it was Bogle through for potentially a shot on goal, but you know, Sheffield United looking at the best team, the team that's creating all the chances. You know, Chelsea, they're going to have to start. They're going to have to liven up, or else Pochettino's going to have to make some subs.
Yes, Maurizio Pochettino, his first Premier League visit to Bramall Lane. He's previously had a 100% winning record when he's been playing in Yorkshire. Indeed, his final game as Tottenham manager was against Sheffield United back in 2019, and he's finding Sheffield United supporters to be quite raucous as they get behind their side as they take the game to Chelsea. 8 minutes into the second half. 1-1. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Chris Wilder, his opposite number, takes a swig of liquid refreshment in that technical area down below as a throw is about to be launched in from that far side. Red and white striped shirts playing from left to right. Chelsea have everybody back in and around the penalty area. In it comes now, aimed towards the head of McBurney, volleyed clear by Madueke. You notice that as a cross comes in from the left, reached Trusty, lays it off, played out. Harbour with a first time shot, just wide. Well, he caught that right-footed and it whistled off the left-hand post behind. That would have been some goal.
This is what he's got, you know. He's in a team for his shots. Oh wow, yeah, just past the post from Hamer. But as I said, Sheffield United have come out for the second half and are taking the game to Chelsea.
Well, Sheffield United witnessed a cracking strike by McAllister on Thursday night as a mistake by Holgate almost lets in Palmer, but he recovers. But he just hit it first time, lashed it with the outside of his right boot. That would have been some goal.
Just unfortunately wasn't quite in the middle of the pitch. If he'd have had a bit more goal to aim for, but Sheffield United at the moment definitely on top.
Certainly are. Responded ever so well from falling behind to that Thiago Silva goal. Enzo Fernandez. Here is Palmer, forward ball. Jackson holds it up, looks for the run of Caicedo through the middle. Palmer had actually tracked the run as well, and it goes through to Grebic. The point I was about to say before the effort came in from Harmer was that you'd noticed that Mudryk was doing quite an extensive warm-up, so we'd expect to see the Ukrainian at some stage.
Well, I think he's going to have to make some substitutions, because at the moment Chelsea just aren't really in this game. They seem to be cruising in sort of second gear and not doing anything about it, so I'd expect with the bench they've got a substitution in the not so distant future.
They have been an extremely frustrating team to watch. I have a good friend who's a Chelsea supporter, testing the patience of many a die-hard blue this season, Chelsea. 10 minutes into the second half, here is Caicedo, back then to Thiago Silva, forward ball along the ground. Palmer, where would they be without the involvement of this man, Cole Palmer? Had an exceptional season, although he gives the ball away under pressure on this occasion. Caicedo tries to win it back, 50-50 challenge, he wins it against Brereton Diaz. Enzo Fernandez takes over on the halfway line, looks for the run of Cucurella, headed back very well by Bogle. Watchful defending, had to get it right.
Great defending. I wasn't sure if he was going to get there, but fantastic little header back to the keeper, and that'll keep Sheffield United on top.
Chris Wilder was saying, wasn't he, that this Premier League, and you've played in it long enough during your long career, Phil, but it's ruthless, and if you're not at it, he says it'll kill you.
It's the toughest division in the world. The quality that's in this league is a joke, and we spoke before about how many goals Sheffield United have conceded. It's not because they've been horribly worse than last year. I think it's just the standard that they come up against week in, week out is so much better.
It's the voice of Phil Jagielka here on BBC Radio 5 Live. 765 appearances in your club career.
Yeah, I don't remember too many of them, but yeah, there's a few good ones, I hope.
Throw in the 40 for England, and you just edge over the 800 mark. That's some career.
Yeah, the knees, I feel it in the knees, to be honest.
Here is Jackson, sprightly, goes to ground, challenge from Ahmed Hodzic. To his credit, got back to his feet, but running back was Robinson, puts it out of play for a throw. It's 1-1. We're 11 minutes into the second half. Pochettino, I think, felt that should have been a free kick as the cross comes in. Again, Cucurella was making the run into the penalty area. Bogle back with him, clears it on the volley, out for a throw on that far side. It's been a decent game though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just difficult for Sheffield United now. They don't know whether to go for broke sort of thing. Obviously they've got a game plan where they'll surrender the ball a little bit to Chelsea, but they've had quite a lot of success in this second half, and sometimes that can make it a bit more dangerous, coming out of positions and giving the Chelsea players more one-on-one opportunities. So we'll have to just wait and see how.
That was a poor challenge, and it's a yellow card for Robinson, who has gone right through the back of Cole Palmer, and Robinson is shown a yellow card. He was late, wasn't he?
I think this will be checked because it's not a nice tackle, and the more you slow it down, the more you look at it. To be honest, I think this will be checked, and he could be very lucky boy if nothing else happens.
Paul Tierney is the VAR. Cole Palmer, to his credit, gets up with a smile on his face, but he was clattered.
I think that'll help him out massively, because I think the ref won't even look at it now, but you say he'd have been well in his rights to have rolled around a bit more and stayed down with the velocity of that challenge.
Yeah, so Robinson gets the yellow. VAR must be happy with that, because play is back underway. Palmer didn't utter something to Robinson as he walked towards the Sheffield United defender, but that was a no-nonsense type of challenge. That was taking you back to something that Ron Chopper Harris would have performed in the 70s for Chelsea.
Should have been a blue card, shouldn't it?
Don't get us started on that. There's just under an hour played. Chalobah running forward. Little touch by Jackson, cleared by Bogle, headed back by Arblaster, almost put his players back under pressure. Arblaster though turns away under pressure. Cucurella chasing after him. Holgate to clear. Brereton Diaz puts a little bit of pressure on Caicedo, who's actually helped out by Thiago Silva. Passes the ball forward. There's a Sheffield United player down, that is Bogle. He's holding his face, so there is a stoppage in play because it's a head injury. That was off the ball. I didn't see exactly what had happened there with Bogle, but it was.
Yeah, I think Jackson just ran past him. I think his shoulder may have caught him in his face.
Right.
He's apologised and everyone's happy. It's okay.
Yeah. Again, VAR would have had a look if there was any sign of violent conduct from Jackson. There's actually a booking away before they reach 32 games. Next yellow card would result in a 2-match ban, but if he was to be booked today, he wouldn't miss the FA Cup semi-final against Manchester City. It would only apply to league games, so a yellow card today would see him miss Everton and Arsenal, the 2 league games either side of that Manchester City semi-final in the FA Cup in about a fortnight's time at Wembley. An hour played here at Bramall Lane in the second half. Sheffield United 1, Chelsea 1, but they've reached half-time at Tottenham. Mark Scott.
Yes, where it's Spurs 1, Forest 1, and Forest should be ahead. Spurs made a good start and took the lead after a quarter of an hour when Werner cut in from the left and fizzed the ball across the 6-yard box, where Murillo's attempted sliding clearance just sent it into his own net. Forest responded well. They were level just before the half hour. A doggy switching off. That allowed Williams and Elanga to combine nicely and tee up Chris Wood, who stroked home first time from 6 yards out. Then another chance for Wood after Yates' effort was brilliantly saved by Vicario. Just a couple of yards out, he tried to leather it into the net. He didn't need to. It was off the post and the chance had gone. At the break, Tottenham 1, Forest 1.
Chelsea are attacking. Enzo Fernandez on the right hand side. They win a corner kick. 1-1 here at Bramall Lane. Chelsea coming back into it.
Yeah, they need to. Obviously the last 5 minutes have been pretty good for Chelsea, but other than that, Sheffield United have been on top, so corner kick for them now, and wonder if they've got something else up the sleeve to try and free a player to tap this one home.
Cole Palmer getting a lovely ovation from the travelling support, packed out that bottom tier of the Bramall Lane stand that they're attacking as they play from right to left. As we look, Palmer waits. Referee Rob Jones has spotted a little bit of pushing. He's having a word with Thiago Silva and Trusty at the minute, who's got his right arm round the back of Thiago Silva, who's just trying to roll away from him. Cole Palmer is continuing to be serenaded by the Chelsea support. He swings in that corner and the header loops up and is claimed by Grebic, the Croatian international. Look for the early release. Actually had Bogle streaking through the middle, but Ivo Grebic holds on to the ball. And we have 28 minutes remaining, and now it's an underarm throw out to Mason Holgate, who was sent off earlier in the season here against Brighton. And has the ball forward by Enzo Fernandez to Palmer. Space for Palmer to run into. Cole Palmer tries to pass it towards Jackson, cut out by Trusty, picked up now by Osborne. Palmer runs back. He's not a luxury player, is he? He puts in a shift as well, does Cole Palmer?
Yeah, he has to. Well, he gave the ball away, so he's definitely got to try and get it back. But he's doing a little bit quiet today. I think a lot of people would have expected him to have a bit more say in the game, but there's still plenty of time for him to weave his magic.
Been involved in 24 goals in his 25 Premier League appearances, with 16 goals and 8 assists. Harmer, early cross from the right-hand side, cut out by Thiago Silva. Chalobah turns away from Harmer and gives himself time to play a short forward ball to Caicedo. Chalobah gets it back, clears it. Jackson climbs high, chests it off towards Cucurella over the halfway line. Holgate comes across out of play for a throw. It's tossed to him by Pochettino. Gallagher challenged by Harmer. That'll be a free kick taken quickly by Conor Gallagher. So 63 minutes played on BBC Radio 5 Live, also available on the BBC Sounds app, and it remains 1-1 at Bramall Lane. As the ball is passed back by Madueke. It's funny, in the first half they saw a lot of the ball to Madueke on the right. Second half, as the ball goes forward in the central area to Palmer, as he tries to turn, cleared by Ahmed Hodzic. Hasn't really seen much of it, Madueke.
It's the first time he's probably been on the ball second half at the moment, so we'll see what he's got.
And he rolls forward. That's Enzo Fernandez, back to Madueke, does well to keep his balance, and then leaning back, left-footed, shoots over the top. As Phil was saying, first involvement, and on that occasion it was a wayward finish.
But causing problems though, this time came inside rather than going down the line, and he's definitely looked like one of the most dangerous threats today.
To go back to 2000 under Claudio Ranieri, the last time that Chelsea had 3 successive away draws. They've drawn at Brentford and Manchester City on their travels before today. Currently locked at 1-1 here on BBC Radio 5 Live. As Grebic waits and takes his time with the goal kick. Right-footed from the Croatian. Comes off the head. Cucurella back to his goalkeeper, Petrovic. And his forward ball to Disasi. Disasi midway through the Sheffield United half. Thiago Silva to Chalobah. Cucurella high up on the near side, this left-hand side in front of the main stand on the halfway line. Caicedo's ball in field. Ahmed Hodzic, nice take into feet by Harmer. Work it out towards Bogle. It's a nice idea. No wonder Chris Wilder's applauding.
Yeah, they're playing some good stuff. They seem like, the confidence is growing in this game, and they can see that Chelsea are there for the taking. Just not 100% sure whether to go for it yet. They're still a little bit got the sort of handbrake on and being a bit safe, but there's still plenty of time left in this game, and they say at the moment it only looks like one team's going to score the next goal.
6 without a win coming into it for Sheffield United. 2 points out of a possible 18. They've conceded 24 goals during that time. They must have feared the worst when they conceded a goal after 11 minutes to Thiago Silva, but their response has been extremely encouraging. Here is Jackson in the centre circle though for Chelsea. Diagonal ball forward. Cole Palmer finds Madueke with pace. Chelsea are attacking. Madueke enters the penalty area. Fine goal. Madueke makes his presence felt. Left-footed into the roof of the net. Chelsea are back in front. And for Sheffield United, they've conceded the most at home in a season in Premier League history. That is 47 goals that they've now conceded at Bramall Lane, as Chelsea lead by 2-1.
Well, it was almost like they could hear what you were saying, give Madueke the ball, and this time, as he did just previously, cut inside. I think he's reversed it near post and beat the keeper.
It was odd until we mentioned it. The first 10-15 minutes in the first half, he saw a lot of the ball, constantly running at Trusty, and until that other attack moments ago, he'd hardly been involved, and yet in the space of 2, 3, 4 minutes he's had 2 efforts, one wide, then he cuts inside and beats Grbić.
Yeah, as we said, he was definitely the most attacking threat in the first half, but been starved of the ball a little bit second. But Cole Palmer just rolls in the ball and says, go on, have a go. Chops inside, and to be fair, what a great finish, just reverses it. Does the keeper with the eyes. And Chelsea, I've been on the back foot for most of this second half, but I've gone 2-1 ahead.
I think the way that Grbić with his stance, he was expecting it to go to his right, not to his left.
Well, yeah, same again. So clever play from Madueke to sort of fake to go the far post and whip it in the near.
So midway through the second half, Chelsea are back in front. Sheffield United 1, Chelsea 2, and Noni Madueke with his 6th goal of the season, as he starts for the first time since mid-February against Crystal Palace. And it's the travelling support whose voices you might be able to hear in the background now here on BBC Radio 5 Live. And it was certainly a well-taken goal. And Sheffield United, for all their encouraging play, have got to dust themselves down and try and fight back for a second time this afternoon for bottom of the table Sheffield United.
Yeah, it's got to be so frustrating that Sheffield United with the team pushing forward, trying to get that next goal, and to do not much wrong, to be honest. Just a fantastic bit of skill from Madueke, obviously cutting inside and scoring. Now going to have to go and chase the next goal to try and make this game available for them to take something away from it.
So 47 goals that they've conceded at home, beats that record of Watford from 2 years ago. Cucurella clears Gallagher, back to Chalobah, laid off by Enzo Fernandez. And Chelsea once again delivering the goals. Might not be able to keep a clean sheet, but they're certainly providing lots of action at both ends. You think that 3-2 against Leeds in the FA Cup, 2-2 at Brentford, 3-2 against Newcastle, 4-2 against Leicester, 2-2 Burnley, 4-3 against Manchester United, and now leading by 2-1. Just over an hour, just over 20 minutes remaining. 5 Live. Sheffield United though undeterred. Holgate's forward ball. Bogle waits for it to reach him on this near side. Down the line it goes for Harmer. Cucurella in front of him. Back towards Holgate. First time cross. Stands it up towards the far post. McBurney is there. Volleyed clear. Edge of the 6-yard box by Thiago Silva. Jackson coming back to help out. He was barged in from behind as the free kick is awarded by the referee. Just looking at the way that the red and white shirts are rippling, I wonder if the breeze is just picking up as well inside Bramall Lane.
Yeah, I think we've had about 4 different weathers today, and a few pieces of paper getting blown around as well. But it's going to be tough again. We talked about a test of character for the Sheffield United team again. It's a massive test again for this second half. You know, they've started off fantastic, but unfortunately see themselves a goal down.
Now trailing by 2-1. Phil Jagielka is with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Our blaster out to Osborne. Forward ball, Robinson on the left-hand side, cuts infield, delivers the cross, but it was never reaching its intended target, McBurney, and to step forward was Gallagher. Gallagher now surging forward into the centre circle. Passes it behind Cole Palmer on that far side, the right, 6 yards in from the right touchline. Palmer now inside to Caicedo, first time ball to Jackson, on the overlap is Caicedo, and then eventually he's challenged by Vogel and touches the ball behind for a corner kick. When they run it so fluently like that, Chelsea easy on the eye.
Yeah, they just upped the tempo a little bit there. Counter-attack wise, they look like they're going to cause Sheffield United a few problems, but as I said before, they'd not really got out of second gear for most of the second half, but done enough to be ahead.
19 minutes remaining. Gallagher, still you hear talk that Conor Gallagher will be leaving Stamford Bridge come the summer. His deal doesn't expire until 2025 for the England international, who will hope to feature in Gareth Southgate's squad come the summer. Currently 12 caps to his name. There's Cole Palmer inside. Thiago Silva on the edge of the penalty area to Caicedo, back to Gallagher. Gallagher with a cross from the left-hand side. Ahmed Hodzic partially heads it away. Comes then back to Chalobah. Madueke picks it up far side the right. Chelsea lead by 2-1. 18 minutes remain on 5 Live. Enzo Fernandez to Madueke, still in position to where he scored the second goal for Chelsea. Ball scooped forward by Fernandez, headed out by McBurney. Backs to the wall for Sheffield United at this stage. They're going to be making a change. Chukwuemeka is going to be coming on, and the player who's going to be going off is Cole Palmer, it would seem. So this might be the last involvement for Palmer, who picks it up and shoots and tips over. Didn't really look like much on. Left-footed rising drive. Good save by the keeper. That was going to creep underneath the crossbar.
Yeah, he got hold of it really well. Thought, why not have a chance? No one closed him down. Got his laces behind it, and keeper did well to flip it over.
Well, he's a joy to watch, and full credit to him. He could easily have stayed at Manchester City, but he wanted the regular football, and certainly he's having a mightily impressive season as he just strolls his way over in a typical Cole Palmer laid-back sort of way. He won't maybe realise that his number is up. Literally it will be in a number of seconds as he waits to take the corner kick far side the right. Chelsea lead by 2-1 as he now actually just sits down on the advertising hoardings as the referee waits. Now he's off that advertising hoarding to send over the cross, aimed towards Disasi, and Cucurella volleys the ball behind for a goal kick. But he's been brilliant to watch this season. What an impact he has made, and he now just looks to the heavens with, he just looks like a young lad who enjoys playing his football.
Yeah, definitely. He did not want to come off, but you know, Pochettino maybe just protects him a little bit. You know, he's played a lot of football this season. Last thing he needs is Palmer getting injured, so he's probably going to look after him a little bit here, give him 15-20 minutes off, and I say he definitely does not want to leave the field of play.
Well, we'll wait and see in the coming days to see if UEFA, at the behest of the international head coaches, when they meet in Dusseldorf over the next couple of days, to increase that squad of, well, to 23 to 26 for the Euros. But Cole Palmer certainly will be, or is, pressing strong claims to feature in that squad, even if it is 23 for Gareth Southgate for the Euros in the summer. But he comes off, and Chukwuemeka comes on for Chelsea, who lead by 2-1 with just over a quarter of an hour remaining. And Chelsea, with that goal from Madueke, on course to move to 46 points. That would take them a point behind Newcastle United in pursuit of European football. Thiago Silva, Enzo, Caicedo, Chukwuemeka centrally passes the ball to Madueke. There is activity down below. Chris Wilder is toying with a change at this stage. Cameron Archer is poised. He's still got his yellow bib on at this point, but there was always every chance he would be involved at some point in this game. Here is Bogle after returning from injury. Enzo Fernandez, ball lifted up into the air by Caicedo. Chukwuemeka runs with the ball at his feet, pass it to Madueke over the halfway line, right hand side, running at Trusty, carries the ball midway through the Sheffield United half. Chukwuemeka has gone on ahead of him, the two combine, back towards Chukwuemeka, but standing his ground did well, did Trusty, back for Sheffield United. But that goal just deflated him a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it's going to mean, I think, some sort of tactical change for Chris Wilder. I think that's McAtee that's going to come on. I'm not so sure. Yep, one of the centre halves is coming off, Mason Holgate's coming off, so there'll be some sort of formational change.
Well, James McAtee is coming on. Holgate is the player who's going off. McAtee on loan from Manchester City. Had an excellent season last season when they were promoted from the Championship. 9 goals in his 43 appearances. Scored 5 so far this season. Tiny little player as well, the 21-year-old.
He had a fantastic season last year. He's not been obviously as easy this year for him, but yeah, he's definitely got a bright future ahead of him.
England under 21 international. So McAtee is on. Sheffield United make that change. Looking for an equaliser. Trailing by 2-1. Cross comes in, cleared by Thiago Silva. We've got 13 and a half minutes remaining. Don't forget 6:06 coming up after this. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage, 08085 909 693 is the usual number to call for 6:06. And Mark Chapman tomorrow night, the Monday Night Club from 7, is joined by Chris Sutton, Andros Townsend and Rory Smith. Don't forget, European coverage on Tuesday and Thursday. Champions League and Europa League quarter-finals on 5 Live Sport to look forward to. The US Masters starts on Thursday as well. Our team will be out there live in Augusta, and the Grand National next weekend as well. So much live sport. Cross comes in from the left. It was a searching long diagonal ball towards McBurney. Turned and diverted behind by Chalobah. Phil Jagielka.
Yeah, great defending from Chalobah, to be honest. Fantastic ball in from Osborne, and McBurney was there, was behind him, ready to tap it in, and it's going to be a big, final 15-20 minutes for Sheffield United to try and get something out of this game.
Mauricio Pochettino is desperate to get some sort of instruction across to his players. Every Royal Blue shirt is back in and around the penalty area. Corner kick, swung in. Came off 2 Chelsea players, headed behind for another corner kick. It was an in-swinger. I think the last touch was off Thiago Silva, but there's a Chelsea player down. They were all desperate to get there at the near post.
Yeah, I think all 3 Chelsea players tackled each other to make sure they got out for another corner.
It was Madueke who is hobbling quite badly actually inside that 6-yard area. There's about 4 of them who all dived in. Such was the concerted effort to try and keep that one at bay. Corner kick then far side. Harmer with the in-swinger. Goalkeeper has come, hasn't got there. Ahmed Hodzic comes off the back of his head. McAtee tries to get it back for Sheffield United, and then Arblaster loses the ball and a break is on for Chelsea, and Jackson carries the ball forward over the halfway line. Jackson runs forward, Jackson enters the penalty area, Jackson going it alone, had Chukwuemeka with him but held on to it too long and is dispossessed, and a chance to wrap up the game goes begging.
Yeah, good tracking black from Arblaster after initially giving the ball away, but wrong decision again from Jackson. Came inside where all the danger was for the Sheffield United players. He should have potentially switched it to the right, to the free player, and it potentially would have been a tap-in.
McBurney thought he got a free kick. The referee, Rob Jones, says no. He went flying forwards. There's a Chelsea player down. They're going to knock the ball out of play because Caicedo is injured. McBurney protests to referee Rob Jones quite forcefully. He's told to calm down, and there is a stoppage in play. And Chris Wilder looks perplexed as he vents his frustration at the assistant referee.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what the assistant referee can do about it, but It did look like McBurney just got there before Caicedo, but the referee did not agree with him.
Chelsea are on course to go 7 unbeaten, which will be their best run since 2021 under Thomas Tuchel, when they went 8 games undefeated, 10 minutes away of normal time. Chris Wilder now is still having a word with referee Rob Jones, and if he's not careful, he's going to talk himself into the book, and Chris Wilder is shown a yellow card by referee Rob Jones. Darren England, the 4th official, was also trying to tell him to calm down, but Chris, as passionate as ever, is shown the yellow as he tosses away in disgust his water bottle down below. And Mudryk, who Phil Jagielka had noticed getting an extensive warm-up during half-time, is going to be coming on. So Mudryk, with his pace, is going to be a late introduction to this game for what would be his 50th appearance for Chelsea for Mudryk. 2-1 to Chelsea.
Yeah, he's been in a 40-minute warm-up, so it's quite intense. He should be plenty warm by now.
Yeah. Chris Wilder's still chuntering down below. 2-1 to Chelsea, 9 minutes remaining. Remember, Tottenham 1, Nottingham Forest 1 in the other game in the Premier League. Earlier, Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2. Match of the day tonight, or match of the day 2 tonight, 10:30 on BBC One. For all the reaction, 5 Live Football Daily, if we're unable to bring it to you live into 606, which we will endeavour to do so, as the potential match winner, Madueke, is coming off, put Chelsea back in front. He comes on after his 7th goal of the season, and Mudryk is going off, and there'll be another test for that Sheffield United left-hand side of defence to deal with the pace of Mudryk.
Yeah, slightly different option for obviously Chelsea bringing him on, so I'm sure there'll be opportunities on the counter-attack, especially now if Sheffield United try and get back in this game by getting the next goal, and Mudryk, with his pace and his directness, will obviously cause a few problems.
Palmer heads it forward, but that strong header will bounce into the arms of Jordi Petrovic away towards our right-hand side. 8 minutes remaining. Rolled out towards Chalobah, as there's not too sure what has happened in the main stand away towards our left, whether there's a disturbance, but a lot of the stewards are rushing towards us, and there is a minor crowd disturbance, I think, just in the main stand, and someone is resisting as he's being wrestled away by a body of luminous stewards. Everybody rising to their feet, domino effect, as the game continues with 7 minutes remaining. Trusty clears up towards McBurney, nice layoff towards McAtee. McAtee coming forward now. Thiago Silva steps forward ball, pierces the Sheffield United back line. Jackson now one-on-one. Jackson into the penalty area, that could be a penalty. Oh no, the referee says he got the ball. Ahmed Hodzic had to get that right, and did so with a last-ditch tackle. As now the ball is played back to Grebic, who's going to come under real pressure from Gallagher, and mindful of what happened at Anfield on Thursday night, he turns the ball behind for a corner kick. What was your initial reaction with Ahmed Hodzic and Jackson?
It looked like he got enough of the ball. You know, you look at the reaction of the Chelsea player, he gets up and tries to get the ball, but that normally tells you the story. So I think Jackson realised it was a good tackle, but the keeper again doesn't look as comfortable as maybe you'd want your keeper in this day and age on the floor, but manages to keep out a goal and kick out for another corner for Chelsea.
He still seems scarred by what happened against Darwin Núñez at Anfield on Thursday night for Liverpool's opening goal. That attempted clearance rebounding off Núñez and into the back of the net as the corner comes in from the right. I think that Chelsea fan in the Sheffield United main stand has been ejected by the stewards. Chelsea still lead by 2-1. 6 minutes remain. Gallagher round the back, right hand side towards the byline, pulls it back and eventually hooked away by our blaster, running back into his own penalty area for Sheffield United. Chelsea looking for the 3rd goal to seal the 3 points. 6:06 will be coming up after the football here on 5 Live. Chelsea with Gallagher, right hand side, wins another corner kick. And there's a goal at Tottenham. Mark Scott.
Spurs back in front thanks to an absolute banger from Mickey van der Ven. Forest switched off from the short corner. Spurs recycled it, got it to van der Ven, who took a touch just inside the area and then unleashed a venomous drive beyond Sells into the top corner. Spurs 2, Forest 1, 8 gone in the second half.
Corner kick for Chelsea, far side the right. Just over 5 minutes remain. Gallagher to take it. The referee's blown his whistle. He's not happy with something in the penalty area. Palmer, incidentally, substituted, the first Chelsea player to be directly involved in 25 or more goals in a single Premier League season since Eden Hazard with 31 about 5 years ago. He's certainly been an instrumental signing for Chelsea. For all of the millions that they've spent, he is the one who's certainly provided so much value with that addition from Manchester City. Corner kick then eventually to be taken far side the right. Gallagher, right-footed. Bit of lift on this one. Headed out by Sheffield United. Harmer is onto it, and his first touch takes him away from Cucurella. Well, there's a covering defender, but he had no attempt to play the ball and deliberately brought him down. That was cynical.
Great touch from Hamer, but we knew as soon as he went past him, that's what all defenders do, especially 85 minutes gone, he was always going to bring him down. Took the yellow card, put a thumbs up to the ref, and he was just jogging, and he's done his job. He's obviously bought enough time for the rest of his teammates to get set up for this free kick.
Cameron Archer is going to be coming on. The player is going off is Trusty. So Cameron Archer, who's missed the last 6 games with a calf injury, last appearance on February the 10th, comes on. But Cucurella did it in a way of almost say, it was accidental, wasn't it? There wasn't a deliberate trip, but there was a coming together, but he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, and the thumbs up to the ref, he knew exactly what was going on.
In comes the free kick, clawed away by Petrovic. Launched long, headed on, and Petrovic with a flying save did ever so well.
Again, exactly the same free kick as the first half, the long diag. Not one Chelsea player goes up for the header. Unlucky from Robinson, who tries to float it in the far corner.
Robinson climbed very, very high. Petrovic was equal to it. 3 minutes remain. 2-1 to Chelsea. In comes the corner kick, delivered towards the far post, aimed towards McBurney, headed behind for another corner, and Sheffield United finishing strongly, Phil.
Yeah, they're ramping up exactly what they want for the last 5 minutes or so. You know, still in the game, get as many set pieces as you can, put this team under pressure.
Certainly that was an excellent save by Petrovic. Corner kick comes in again. It's another in-swinger from Harno. He gets his hand onto it. There's Petrovic out towards McAtee. Tees up Osborne, and he skied it like a rugby union fullback just outside the D, over the crossbar. And instead of a conversion, it'll be a goal kick.
So surprised from McAtee. He must be running low on confidence. He's left-footed. It's on his perfect side, and he goes and sets Osborne on his right foot. And he won't mind me saying, but his right foot's not his strongest foot, Ozzy. So for me, McAtee should have took a touch. A confident McAtee takes a touch and potentially puts that in the top corner.
6:06 is coming up. Certainly no shortage of talking points for what has been a dramatic day of Rangers 3, Celtic 3, Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2, involved in the title race both in Scotland and in England. Tottenham lead Nottingham Forest by 2-1. Peterborough fans may want to celebrate after that Football League trophy success against Wickham at Wembley. 08085 909 693 is the number to call. 606. Chris and Robbie taking your calls. There's a Sheffield United player down, which is Robinson, inside his own half, as a late challenge comes in on our blaster, and that might well result in a yellow card on Gallagher. And there is the yellow card.
Robinson looks in some distress, and he's not the type to stay down, so he looks in some pain. So hopefully it's not as bad as what it looks, but to be honest, he doesn't look in a good way.
So there is a stoppage in play. Our blaster is the third Sheffield United player to receive a yellow card, Oliver Arblaster. We're about to find out how much added on time there will be. Do you think Chris Wilder will feel that they've done enough to get a point out of this game?
Yeah, I think so, but again, it'll be frustrating. He said about his team progressing forward and putting some good performances in, but it's the points themselves just haven't matched up. He'd be frustrated, but we said before the game started, what will he expect from his team between now and the end of the season? And these are the sort of performances. We could be looking at this, it could be 2-1 to Sheffield, it could be 2-all, all these possibilities, but unfortunately, unless they can get a goal in the next few minutes, they're going to come away with no points, but there will be some positive to take.
Yeah, it would be 7 without a win, 2 points out of 21. There's been another goal at Tottenham, Mark Scott.
And it's another razor-sharp finish from Spurs, who now lead by 3-1. This time Pedro Porro with a very well-taken volleyed finish back across the keeper and in real power and placement on it. And it's Spurs 3, Forest 1 just before the hour.
Tottenham going 4th in the Premier League table. Of course, mentioned the Champions League football and the Europa League football to look forward to. So tight for that extra Champions League place. Germany at the minute in second spot for those 2 additional places, currently holding off the challenge of the English clubs. But you think Arsenal against Bayern Munich and West Ham United against Bayer Leverkusen could be pivotal to see what happens. Italy currently on course in first spot to claim that additional spot for Champions League football next season. Phil Jagielka mentioned that Robinson was in a bad way and he's unable to continue. He's going to be coming off, and the player who's going to be coming on is going to be Larousse, who's going to be coming on. Vinny Souza. But Robinson getting a thunderous ovation.
Yeah, it just shows you how well he's been doing at the moment, and hopefully the injury's not too bad, because they will miss him. But Robbo will not be wanting to come off. He looks in a bad way, limping straight down the tunnel.
Chelsea are also going to be making a change. Cassidy is going to be coming on after his loan spell against Leicester earlier in the season. And indeed, there's going to be a double change very, very late on. 5 minutes of added on time, incidentally, which we're now into. So Vinny Souza coming on to replace Robinson for Sheffield United. Jagielka and Cassidy are going to be the double change that Maurizio Pochettino is going to make late on in this game. With Chelsea leading by 2-1, just to try and maybe shore things up for a late onslaught from Sheffield United. As we have 3 minutes remaining of stoppage time. So Jagielka is going to be coming on for Cucurella, and Cassidy waits to come on as well. And who's the other player coming off? It's going to be Nicholas Jackson. And just break away from the football while the changes are happening. Some sad news to give you here on 5 Live. The former Tottenham defender and former Wimbledon and Newcastle United manager Joe Kinnear has passed away at the age of 77. The family have released a statement. Of course, there will be reaction to that on the BBC Sport website and on 5 Live, but Joe Kinnear has sadly passed away at the age of 77. Playback underway here at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United with McAtee. Arblaster, ball into the penalty area. Sheffield United in injury time, looking for an equaliser. Flick header on. McBurney! Ollie McBurney from close range. Chris Wilder runs down the touchline. Sheffield United have salvaged the point in injury time. McBurney pounces on that. Sheffield United 2, Chelsea 2.
Fully deserved as well. It looks like McBurney's onside. I'm hoping he is anyway. It's like what his fans wanted, you know. They deserve this all game. They've been in the game. They've controlled most of the second half. We'll have to wait, obviously, for the VAR to confirm it, but, you know, fantastic equaliser.
It's a long ball launched forward. Souza did ever so well to keep the ball in play. McAtee, right-hand side of the penalty area, and as the cross came in, McBurney looked onside. It was then partially cleared. McBurney running forward, then right-footed, pounced past Petrovic. 2-2. It will be checked though by VAR. Not too sure that McAtee might have been in offside position, but he wasn't interfering with play. I think McBurney might have been onside.
We spoke about a character of the team and how you can keep coming, you know, from goals behind and keep trying to stay in games, and hopefully once this goal's ruled okay, it'll be a fantastic point for Sheffield United.
There are boos and jeers as VAR for a possible offside appears. They're checking the goal on the giant screen over on that far side. And Chelsea's hopes of closing the gap on Newcastle and West Ham United for European football next season currently on pause, as is the game, and everybody else waiting and looking. And the goal stands, and McBurney has maybe salvaged the point for Sheffield United.
Fully deserved as well, especially in the second half.
2-2, and Ollie McBurney, with his 6th goal of the season, brings Sheffield United level, and they've deserved that for their attitude and commitment to the Sheffield United cause. They might be bottom of the Premier League table, but they have responded twice now, and on 2 occasions Chelsea's lead hasn't been enough, as the Sheffield United supporters in all areas of Bramall Lane are cheering. And Chris Wilder once again will be so happy with the level of performance from his team. Certainly he seemed to enjoy the equaliser, didn't he? As he dashed away, almost Mourinho-esque.
Yeah, he went to go and grab a ball. I'm not sure what he was going to do with it, but no, he was absolutely buzzing. It's tough when you're at the bottom and you don't feel like things are going your way. Last minute equaliser, it's fantastic, and they should celebrate it.
Ahmed Hodzic with Chukwuemeka. He put his hand on the shoulder of Chukwuemeka, giving away a free kick. There were 5 minutes of added on time. We're now 60 seconds into that, so this is bound to be the last bit of action. 2-2 on what has been a dramatic day of football. 6:06 is coming up. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Towns. Sheffield United 2, Chelsea 2. Is there to be a dramatic sting in the tail? Over 6 minutes played now of added on time here at Bramall Lane. Enzo Fernandez, Chelsea playing from right to left. 10 yards forward of the centre circle, little bit towards the right. Enzo Fernandez, hands on hips, waits. Sheffield United have everybody back. Fernandez fires it in, headed out by Sousa. Only as far as Caicedo. Break on now for Sheffield United. They've got options, they've got 3 against 2 if they play it right. It's Archer. Archer holds up the ball, plays it towards McAtee, back towards Archer. Now Chelsea get a number of royal blue shirts back. Our blasters forward ball. Archer, left-hand side of the penalty area. Passes the ball back. Still the referee lets play continue. They work it out towards the left. Cross comes in. It's a hanging one. Thiago Silva at full stretch. Can't head the behind. Brereton Diaz lifts it, keeps it in play. Back header away by Gallagher in the penalty area. Caicedo goes to ground. Harvard as well. Touches the ball to Brereton Diaz. And then the referee, Rob Jones, gives a free kick against Sheffield United. And Ahmed Hodzic for dissent is shown a yellow card. Free kick to Chelsea. That should be it. Phil Jagielka.
Yeah, I'm not convinced it's a free kick. I think he may have bought this one, but to be honest, the time is up. It's 97.5 minutes now. This will be the last kick of the game, but it's a very soft one. He's bought it, but what can you do?
Well, Chris Wilder is actually laughing in frustration, and he's about, I think, to shake the hand of Maurizio Pochettino, because by my watch we're ticking on to 8 minutes. We're meant to have a minimum of 5. As Petrovic clears downfield, lifted back by McBurney. Thiago Silva volleys the ball away. Flick header by Chukwuemeka. Gallagher carries it forward, barged off the ball. That far side, that was a free kick given away by Chukwuemeka. Is there time? The two managers are actually embracing at the moment and probably pointing and saying, well, you could have had this one, you shouldn't have had that. A lot of respect between the two, Pochettino and Chris Wilder. Is there still time? 8.5 minutes we've been playing of added on time. Cole Palmer scored in the 101st minute against Manchester United, the latest ever goal in Premier League history. Keep on going. Might be getting to that sort of territory. But no, he won't, because there is the full-time whistle for what has been an engaging Premier League contest. Sheffield United 2, Chelsea 2. Phil Jagielka, your thoughts?
Ian, you promised us goals, and thankfully we got them all the way to the last minute. But no, it's been a great game, great draw. I think Sheffield United will be happy with the point. Down twice in the game and show great character to come back. But it's a long way for safety for them. It's another 2 points potentially dropped at home, but I say it's tough to take today. Chelsea, they played well in spells, but for me didn't do enough to take all 3 points, and probably the draw's a fair result.
Chelsea's inability, they've been involved in some real seesaw games of late, haven't they? I mean, that will be a frustration, not just to Pochettino, but also to their travelling support.
Yeah, definitely, but the fans have been watching them all season. This isn't something new. It's a very young, very inexperienced team. You take out Thiago Silva, there's not much experience there, and they'll have to learn. Next season, if all the players are still here and the manager's still here, he'll hope that these situations won't happen again, and they'll keep a few more clean sheets, especially away from home.
And from a Sheffield United point of view, they remain bottom of the Premier League, 16 points after 31. The reality is that they will get relegated, but the attitude from the players today, what will that do for Chris Wilder and his coaching staff?
Yeah, definitely. We've had games here where there's been 4, 5, 6-0 down before sort of like an hour in the game, so the character's definitely going in the right direction. It's tough. It's still not a win, but I think it'll feel more like a win, obviously scoring a goal so late on, but it's all about the character for the rest of the season and putting the performances in. It's pretty much been a full house today. You've got to give these fans something to shout about.
Well, our thanks to Phil Jagielka. It's finished here at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 2, Chelsea 2.